And tonight's victory for Carlo Rice. Following dancing on the stage, solo trumpeters reach the bird. The Lions band conclude their portion of this evening's show with another beautiful Lionel Richie melody. Say you, say me, and...
Welcome back to Mollenkopf Stadium in Warren, Ohio. I'm Greg Fronick along with John Walsh. John, let's go and take a look at the first half stats. Basically, a lot of the game was Minerva on that side of the ball.
Very much. We're even in the first down department. Minerva has a big edge in the passing, mainly off that 88-yard initial play from scrimmage touchdown pass. Yards rushing, Chardon's done a good job getting to 83 yards. Minerva, most of their yardage has come from their quarterback, Morgan, on those little end sweeps they had. The leading rushers for Chardon are Desipeda, who has 8 carries for 42 yards, and Morgan, the quarterback, 3 carries, 71 yards, getting those mainly going around the end area. Chardon defense has done a good job containing Leon Powell, the strong running back. He's had 10 carries, 42 yards, which for a normal running back is a heck of a half, but in his situation, that's just an outstanding job by the Chardon defense doing that. We'll have to see what kind of adjustments were made in the locker room at halftime for Chardon to get the offense in gear, and also Minerva. They're not used to just scoring 7 points in a half. I'm sure they want a little more offense out of their squad tonight.
Fred Baisley kicking off for Minerva starting the second half, and Chardon will be receiving the ball. Minerva only up 7-0. They killed themselves a couple times in the first half. Twice they were going in for scores, and they hurt themselves on penalties. And Chardon kind of sputtering on offense and finally able to come back in the end of the second quarter, and they were getting it going. Maybe they can rally them here for the third quarter.
Yeah, they're just going to have to find out something. Hopefully that's where they need, in their case, the big adjustment coming. And defensively, I think Chardon has to do the most adjusting on their part. Minerva's defense played an outstanding first half. They gave up a little bit of yardage, but for the most part, they really didn't get themselves into a trouble situation. Chardon, on the other hand, has to guard. They have to continue containing Powell. They also have to make sure that those ends both box around, take away that little deception sweep coming from quarterback Morgan, and that play from their offense, and just seal up on the passing situations also. It ought to be a great second half, as it was the first half. Good playoff action here in Division II.
Rafi Desipeda is the deep man for Chardon. And I believe it's going to go to the up man at the 25. And down at the 30-yard line. That's where Chardon will take over at their 30-yard line.
I think it was Mike Bond who took that short little back kickoff, being one of the up backs. Just gain possession of it, wrap the arms around, return it out to 30, giving Chardon good field position. Did the smart thing, though. Wrap that ball up, because you don't want a costly mistake here. Put Chardon in a deeper hole right now. Good heads-up play by Vaughn.
Nicholas, the lone running back. Desipeda, the wing back, now moving back. And a handoff to Desipeda on the left side. Desipeda cuts it up and then back outside and close to a first down. He'll probably be a yard short.
Yeah, Desipeda is looking very, very impressive tonight, Greg. Doing an outstanding job of running. He's got that deceptive type of speed. It seems like he's curling outside. As soon as he sees this little gap open up, he's got that extra afterburners that kick in. Just gives you that extra little boost, and he's just doing an outstanding job running the ball for Chardon tonight.
And once again, Jeff Fankhauser on the tackle. It's been the Fankhauser connection on the defense for the Minerva. Desipeda in motion, up the middle to Harry Nicholas, and Nicholas gets a first down.
Yeah, that was a little bad shooting out on Chardon's offensive line that time. It was a little odd. They kind of hung back, didn't really fire out at all. It was almost like a cadence count sneak, on the goose that occurs, because they just kind of hung back. I really didn't understand what happened there, but it worked out well for Chardon, them getting the first down on that.
First down just inside their 42-yard line. High formation. We'll hand off to the second man through. Desipeda one more time, the junior.
Yeah, that was a good job by Lance Bucher coming from his, Lance Laubucher, coming from his tackle position on that one. Sealing it up, and a good job of running by the Chardon ball carrier in that one. Just lowering the head because there really wasn't any sort of a gap open up on him in that one. Just lowered it, got a couple yards out of it where there was pure individual effort on his part because there was no opening whatsoever.
Second down and 8. You see Joyner right there. He'll hand off to Dissipator one more time. Dissipator tries to get around in. Dissipator spinning and goes out of bounds. Dropped out by Mike Garrett.
That was a good job of running by Dissipator on that time because one of the defenders for Minerva got into the backfield area. I think that was again Lance Laubucher coming across, getting Dissipator. Dissipator broke the tackle in the backfield, lowered it, turned the corner, and got the first down for Chardon. Again, good running by Dissipator out of the backfield.
Let's see the replay one more time. Dissipator.
Yeah, that was Laubucher just grabbing him. Dissipator broke it, spun his way around, hit the corner, and got good yardage.
Back to live action. Joyner telling his men to move around in the backfield, and he gives up the middle to Dissipator. And Dissipator close to a first down.
Well, they're opening it up real well here.
There's a flag on the play up towards the line of scrimmage. The line judge made the call.
I think we might have had a little jump. They're talking to the Minerva players right now and waving the ball back. All that effort by Dissipator will go for nothing as the ball is being marched back. Again, it's a procedural call.
And he'll make it first down and 15. Just at midfield.
Yeah, I don't know if this is a case of Chardon executing much better or they made the adjustments, found something in the halftime, but they're moving the ball rather well against this Minerva squad.
And off this time, nowhere for Jeff Polina. Polina hit by Nightingale.
Yeah, that was quick, that little left wing coming around play that shoots in the off tackle position. One that Dissipator has run the other way successfully twice this half so far. They seal it up to the right-hand side, and I'll tell you, one of the reasons might be is that's Bill Fankhauser, the linebacker's side that they're running at that time. It's a little tougher running that way. The Chardon's left is probably the best area to go to.
And there goes Polina in motion, but they'll go out to pass. And he hits his man, Brian Weckup. I believe maybe that was Wilson.
Yeah, I believe it was Wilson.
It was Wilson. Steve Wilson comes up with the catch.
Yeah, got some good yardage out of that. Put it back and put Chardon pretty much in a 3rd and 5 situation. Got the penalty back plus an additional 5 yards on that. Good play by Wilson Joyner making the connection. It's a big play for Chardon here again. They want to get the ball in here, get the first down, keep this drive going because they are moving the ball extremely well this half so far.
There's Joyner. Give the Dissipator, but the flags, and this might be a delay of game. It seemed like it took an awful long time before the Hilltoppers got it, but it was illegal motion on the left guard.
Yeah, it was a shame. Like you said, it was on the guard there. He was trying to lead block for that little sweep where Dissipator was going to run it to the outside, and he just got a little bit early on his pull blocking capabilities in that one. Got the flag thrown, moving Chardon back 5 yards, putting it again to a 3rd down 10 situation. One that Chardon is probably going to have to go and attain through the air.
Howard Joyner makes the handoff in the backfield. Wants to go long. And almost intercepted. Good comeback by Jeff Fankhauser. He tried to go for Bob Satka. He left it up a little bit too long, don't you think, John?
Yeah, very much so, and just underthrew the pass a little bit. I think he was throwing a Dissipator on that one, Greg. These Chardon jerseys are extremely tough. I've got a little better eyeballs than this, having done a couple of Chardon games before. No, I guess you were right then. I guess my eyeballs aren't that much better.
It's time to punt for the Hilltoppers. No pressure. And a bad kick by Mike. It wasn't Mike Scolaris that time. That time it was Howie Joyner. Joyner was able to kick it.
They just kicked it straight up in the air. Didn't get anything. And I'll tell you something else that was bad about that. When that punt did hit, it was rolling back towards Chardon. Chardon players just kind of stood around. They didn't try to down the ball. One of them had the presence finally to jump on it, keep it from rolling further down. We have a flag down that they're talking to Minerva about. I'm sure whatever it is, Minerva would probably just take the ball where it is rather than accepting the penalty.
Minerva starts off at their 34-yard line. First time here, they'll get the ball in the second half. 7:24 to go in the third quarter. Morgan will hand off to the little jet out of the backfield. Powell, and Powell's brought down by Cox.
Now there's a case where you got two great ball players meeting, and that's the first time we've seen Paul. I mentioned he's always going forward. That time Cox grabbed him and threw him backward. That's the first time we've seen Powell thrown backwards tonight.
Powell gains 3 on the play. That's second down and 7 for the Lions. Morgan to Powell, and Powell this time can't go very far either. Bill Bailey, the first man to hit him. And then jumping in there on the play. A few more defensive linemen, Cinco and Luckett.
I tell you, Chuck Cox is playing a good ball game tonight. Like I mentioned to you in the pregame there, Greg, Cox is just a blue chip player. He's not playing 100% to his capability. He's playing at, I would estimate, 80-85%. But 85% of his ability exceeds a lot of average linebackers' ability.
Bill Bailey comes over and he touches the center. He tried to jump the snap. And offsides against Chardon.
Yeah, I don't know if that was over-aggressiveness on Bailey's part or if Morgan is playing a little bit with his play calling, fluctuations in his voice to draw the offside penalty. But whatever, it was moving the ball good direction from Minerva's viewpoint.
Makes it a little bit easier to try and get this third down. Third down and 1 for Minerva. Morgan trying to draw him offside again with the cadence. Hands off to Powell. Powell brought down by Bailey. It gets the first down also in there. Bob Cinco, number 54.
Yeah, that's a good job. You can almost expect to see a player at Powell's caliber on a third and short yardage, and he gained first down plus a couple of additional yards with his low center of gravity running.
Talked to the coaches beforehand. They said Leon Powell will be off to the races today on this dry field. Certainly doing a good job so far today. Hand off again to Powell. Now this time Morgan kept it, pulled it out of the belly of Powell and tried to go around end as he's done so well in the first half, but not able to get that many yardage, maybe 1 on the play.
Yeah, I think that's the case of that halftime adjustment that we mentioned that Chardon had to make. They had to take that play away from him. All you have to do is have your ends come across a little bit, hold their ground for that fraction so they make sure, and then they can pursue if they actually see it. If you're not sure if the handoff has been made or not, hold your ground, because Morgan, his great ball handling ability, may hold on to it. If you can take that play away, that helps stop the offense some.
Powell gets the call again, but this time the officials stop it one more time.
We're getting a lot of penalties here early in the second half, Greg. Both teams come out. I think they want to just move it, get a little space between for Minerva's part, Chardon's part. They want to get back in this game. That makes you a little too over-aggressive when you start getting the costly little jump penalties, and that's exactly what we're seeing down here on the field.
You see the Minerva head coach. Legal procedure, and it brings it back to second down and 14 yards. .4:55 to go in the third quarter. A quick third quarter so far. First time Minerva's had the ball. Back to pass and intercepted. And there's the play of the game. Bill Bailey, number 75. Morgan threw it right in his hands, and it's 7-6 ever so quickly.
That was just right out of the blue. That caught me by surprise. And all of a sudden you see, I actually, with a great ball handling ability, I was following Powell on that when I saw a Chardon player grab hold of Paul, hold him, and then back off. That's when I read. I was sucked in by that great deception play. Great pursuit by Chardon, getting in on Morgan, forcing him to throw it quick. He didn't have the opportunity to find Bailey standing there. Threw the ball, Bailey was standing right there. Easy cakewalk to the end zone for him. Great work by that Chardon defense.
And the extra point is good. We're all tied at 7.
Well, it was a Chardon defense that gave it back to him. Boy, this is a heck of a ball game, I'll tell you. Just everything's happening well. Both squads are playing superior football here. Minerva fans are getting up. They're cheering on their squad, so that's okay, boys. It's just a tie ball game. Get in gear yourself. This is what playoffs are all about, Greg. This great football individual effort. Here we see the replay. Great pressure. I think that was Dave Scanlon, number 56, who got to Morgan, forced him to throw the ball early. Did give him time to look and spot a player like Bill Bailey standing there. Interception, 6 points. A total defensive effort by Chardon on that one. It wasn't strictly individual. Bailey gets all the acclimates for the 6-point touchdown, but it was caused and set up by Dave Scanlon. Great work by that squad.
Scanlon, as you say, pressured him. It looked like Morgan wanted to go with a screen. And it's 7-7 here in the third quarter. Definitely a changed Chardon football team now. High and over end kick. Leon Powell. Powell across the 25 to the outside. Powell could go. Powell putting out some moves. Down the sidelines has Seklos to beat, but he can't. And he gets it down to the 22-yard line. Leon Powell. What a job right there.
Yeah, it was a great job. They set up that wedge in the middle of the field. Powell hit the wedge area. Saw it was sealed up where all he could do is drive, grab a couple of yards, cut it quickly to the outside. There was a quick plant foot and cut it to the outside. He was off to the races. Good work by Scleris on that as we're watching again. You see Powell hit the middle there, then all of a sudden that instant veer to the outside, and there he goes. Scleris will come into the picture here soon, downfield, holding his ground in the safety man position. Great run back by Powell on that one, showing excellent speed too.
Down to the 23-yard line.
Boy, these teams are explosive. All of a sudden it looks like one is going to take control, the other one strikes back, and that's why they're both in the playoffs. Two fine football squads.
Up the middle and about 6 yards or so for Minerva.
Yeah, Fankhauser just kind of turned sideways and skidded his way through that line there. Got a good gain out of it because really he didn't have much of a hole. He had to go through it sideways, and he just showed great balance, keeping his feet moving while he was moving in the sideways direction.
Powell back in the game. Jamie Ford came in one play. Powell and Fankhauser in the backfield. Fankhauser gets the ball close to a first down. Oh, he's got it.
Fankhauser again showing some strong running. And Minerva team, it's amazing. All the stats they have yardage-wise with over 3,000 some yards on the ground. I think 3,300 if I remember correctly. 1,000 yards in the air, a lot of points in the season. It's just a well-balanced attack led by Powell, of course.
Here's Powell again. This time brought down. There he is. Chuck Cox.
Yeah, Cox just shot in from his linebacker position. Grabbed hold of Powell behind the line of scrimmage a little bit and just pulled him down, held him to no gain whatsoever.
3 minutes left to go in the third quarter. This game's all tied up at 7. Division II Region 5 playoff game. Morgan at quarterback. Hands off to Fankhauser. And again, Cox comes in for the tackle. Cox stopped him at the 10-yard line. It'll be third down now. And they'll get down to about the 3-yard line for another first down.
Yeah, it was good blocking by right guard Al Imler and inside tackle Alex Ford coming out there, opening a little lane for Fankhauser to hit. Just as Cox laterally pursued along the line, stuffed the hole, held it to a little bit of a gain. good blocking up front, but it's tough to handle a linebacker like Cox.
We'll see what Morgan does here. Morgan pitches out to Powell. Powell looking for some running room, spins his way down. First man in there was Cox. Also coming up there was Scolaris, number 20.
I'll tell you something, Greg. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I seriously think with the speed they have in that backfield and all that, I think that's the first pitch play that Minerva has tried tonight. I really don't recall them pitching it out. It's pretty much been straight handoffs.
Pretty much it has been. I think they had maybe one other one or maybe two early in the ball game. They're going to go with it. 4th down here. 4th and 6th, ball on the 8-yard line. Morgan to Powell. Powell looking for some running room. He won't get it. Chardon has had a goal line stance.
To be quite honest with you, I'm a little surprised they went with that on that. So far, their defense has held Chardon pretty well in check. Chardon's touchdown coming by their defense. I'm surprised they didn't take the 3 points, because this is looking like you're not going to get that many points on this. You got faith in your offense and all, but grab the 3 if you can. Take the lead. Put it back on your defense, because they're also playing an outstanding ball game out here.
Well, you have to remember, Fred Bays' kick field goal try in the second quarter was blocked. So they didn't want that to have happen. Up the middle goes Chardon for about 5-6 yards.
Yeah, that's a good gain and a good play by Chardon on that one. Something they needed to get themselves out of the hole a little bit. Now they have a little bit of breathing room. They can vary a little bit. When you're down around the 5 or even inside the 5, you don't want to try the sweeps, because sweeps you can lose 4 or 5 yards on. All of a sudden you're talking safety. Now they can open up their offense, go to a sweep play or something, because they got the room to play with.
Miklas again. Miklas tried to break it, but wrapped around his leg is Bill Fankhauser, number 34. 30 seconds to go in the third quarter. 3rd down and 1.
Yeah, this is a big play here for Chardon. They want to get the ball, get the first down a little bit, start moving it downfield, because they don't want to punt back from this position on the field, especially after that last punt they had, because Minerva, even with a good punt, is going to end up with good field position.
And Chardon will take a timeout with that. 15 seconds is left on the clock in the third quarter. The game is tied at 7. And a very key 3rd down right here, not because of time-wise, but because of field position, as you say, John. They have to get a first down for their point. If they don't, they kick the ball away, and it looks like Minerva would get the ball in very good field position inside the 50-yard line.
Yeah, we guess somewhere inside the 50. And the shift last time where they had quarterback Joyner doing the punting, I'm wondering if something happened to the leg of Scolaris a little bit, where they did make that change all of a sudden. That may be one of the reasons also Minerva decided to go for 4th down, pinning them deep in their own territory and hopefully getting the ball back good field position for the offense.
This is an area also where a team can try to go and block the kick. If they don't block it and they do get a penalty on the kicker, of course, Chardon will get the ball back if they don't get the first down on the 3rd down play. But we'll see what happens first here before we talk 4th down action. Howie Joyner up the middle, and I don't know if Joyner got it.
It's going to be close. I think it's going to be very close.
Oh, they got it. They went over the line, so they've got the first down.
Okay, they did give it. Let's see where this. Yeah, they did spot it the other side of the line. The marker being just to the inside of the 15-yard line area. So he got it by about 2 lengths of the football.
Well, that'll be it at the end of the 3 quarters of play here at Mollenkopf Stadium in Warren. It's 7-7, and we'll be back with the 4th quarter right after this. Fourth quarter action. Chardon and Minerva. 7-7. Chardon has the ball. And a handoff to their tailback, Miklas.
Yeah, that particular play, it almost looked the way Miklas was carrying that ball. Either he was carrying it too loosely, something he shouldn't be doing, or I'm wondering if there was somewhat of an option play where he was looking downfield a little bit to see if there was a receiver, because he was carrying that ball in his right hand, which going around that corner is not the place to be. When you sweep left, you should hold it in the left hand. He had it in his right hand, and he had it loose like he was going to pull it up to throw it.
Scolaris in motion, but a handoff up the middle to, I believe, Desipeda. And Desipeda was hit, not able to go very far, but he did pick up a first down nonetheless. And Chardon's been able to run the ball effectively here in the second half, and that has been the story.
Very much so. They're moving the ball rather well on the ground. That counts for the fact that that third quarter went over rather rapidly. We didn't have too much in the way of possessions between the teams. It was just a ground control game. Chardon ate up a lot of time in that initial drive of the second half.
Joyner will hand off to Desipeda. Desipeda trying to get around the end. He's hit and brought down by Art Rose, number 67.
Yeah, we had some great pursuit that time. Chardon had a little wall of blockers in front of him. Again, we had Bill Fankhauser moving laterally down that line, getting in on the play. Lance Lawbucher just coming down also from his tackle position, moving well, sealing it up, fighting off the lead blocks from Chardon, doing a good defensive play on that.
Second down and 7 for Chardon. Howie Joyner, the quarterback. Joyner will hand off, nowhere to go. Lance LeBaker there on the tackle. That'll be third down and maybe 6.
Yeah, again, I think Al Imler, the other linebacker, who also is a great one. We just keep referring to Fankhauser this whole game because he is just so obvious out in that field with his size and his playing ability and all. But Imler in his own rights is one heck of a fine linebacker.
He has gone a little unnoticed, but he is making the key tackles when it has to happen. Chardon, and nowhere to go for Desipeda as he slips on the turf. It'll be fourth down.
Yeah, I think that was the case with Desipeda. Saw that the wall he had in front of him was breaking down. Again, he had that good movement down the line by that Minerva defensive group. So he's trying to plant that foot, cut it back, and he kind of just got his legs twisted around down to the turf he went. Important thing for Chardon is they got the ball out of the hole a little bit, gave him some punting room where they could move the ball back downfield.
We'll see what Joyner can do this time, and a little bit of a better kick. Tom Dreschner is going to take it. Dreschner cuts it up, nowhere to go. Dreschner met there by Randy Sally, number 52. Sally, a senior.
And we also had Dave Scanlon in on that one, just doing a great job putting a hit on place. Again, it was just a wall of Chardon people behind him. The Minerva group did contain well on the line of scrimmage. They let Chardon get through too much so they could get good coverage on that punt.
Under 9 minutes to go in regulation. Morgan brings his team to line of scrimmage. On a pitch up, Leon Powell. Powell tries to cut it. Picks up about 4 as he drags along some defensive players. Cox getting up from the bottom of Powell.
Yeah, we at that time, Bob Cinco from his tackle position just got through the line, got excellent penetration into it, but he just didn't have the speed to keep up with a Powell, and he just got left in the dust a little bit as Powell rounded the corner. But it was good penetration on Cinco's part.
Second down and 6. The handoff to Powell. Powell runs into his own man, and that's able to come up. Dave Scanlon was able to come up and make the hit as there's a flag at that junction.
I think that might be the face mask area is what they're going to be referring to, because I don't know what else. They threw it as Powell was still in the air, so it wasn't a piling on of any sort. It almost have to be a face mask infraction.
Well, it goes against Chardon, and that's not going to make the Hilltopper fans happy.
No, that's a costly one down here. As Minerva is moving the ball rather well, but you don't want to give him the quick 15 yards to get it pulled down.
It is a face mask, personal foul penalty. And first down at the Hilltopper 32, and the Minerva fans are on their feet. Morgan with a long count. Hands off to Powell as he leaps over the pile for about 4, maybe 5.
Yeah, I time they sent Chuck Cox in blitzing from his linebacker position. And on his way in, Powell was going the opposite direction from him a little bit. Cox just had the presence to grab a head. He's the one that grabbed the leg of Powell as he went by, tripped him, and just held that to a 3-yard gain or so, where Powell actually did have a big gap open and probably would have got appreciable yardage.
This time Fankhauser breaks some tackles and gets close to a first down. Maybe third down and short. There you see the Lion mascot for Minerva. 7 minutes and counting in regulation. The nice thing to see there after that play, a couple plays earlier, both Powell and Cox walked by, shook each other's hands. They know who's on the field tonight.
Oh, sure. I'll tell you, the real good football players respect each other so well because they know they're just excellent football players out there.
Morgan pitches out just in time to Fankhauser. Fankhauser tries to get around him, and he goes out of bounds. Good defensive play by Chardon.
Yeah, we did. We had just excellent. Chris Stuffelbaum did a good job on containing Morgan on that pitch, forcing him to pitch it to the outside. And then we had Scanlon and Scaleris coming up from their end and cornerback position, respectively, sealing it to the outside, keeping it from being a big gainer. Good job of adjustment on that one by Chardon. They didn't forget about the pitch man. They read that one well and adjusted well.
Well, they're going to bring the chains across. And we'll get this from our cameraman on the sideline. And see if this is a first down. Good shot by the Cablevision crew.
Move, Mr. Referee. Just a bit.
Fourth down.
Boy, that's just a link on that chain is about all there's short, Greg.
Well, they're definitely going to go. They haven't been able to kick the ball tonight. One field goal try was blocked in the second quarter. Could go either way. Fankhauser, Morgan, or Powell can get the call. Last time it was this close. Brad Morgan, the quarterback, took it himself and got the first down. It was early in the second quarter when that happened. At the 22, Minerva fans on their feet, as well as Chardon fans.
A big play for both teams here.
Hand off to Powell. Did Powell get it or not? He did. All the way up to the 20. And Minerva keeps it going. More importantly, the time is running down here. It's going to work against either team. If Minerva's able to score, this is going to put a lot of pressure on Chardon.
Yeah, because so far, though they've been moving, they haven't shown the propensity at all to break the big play. It's just been slow, sustained drives, and the clock is going against that for them right now.
Great defensive play by Cox, bringing down Powell.
I think that was Wyckoff coming from his defensive end position that time, getting across and grabbing Powell and dropping him in his tracks. But like you mentioned, it is a great defensive play. That's what you need when the team's moving the ball back. If you can grab them in the backfield, knock them for a couple yards lost, that pumps up your whole defense, and that's what Chardon needs right now.
Ash comes into the ball game. And Morgan tries to get away with the fake up the middle, and everybody from Chardon went for the fake handoff, and Morgan stopped into the end zone.
Yeah, that's the basic play that has burned them 2-3 times in the first half. So far in the second half here, they've contained it rather well, but on an important one for Minerva that time, Chardon didn't execute, do their containment work properly, and Morgan just did a great effort to get it out into the end zone.
Snap is good. The kick is up.
Again, now Minerva strikes back. We got one of those seesaw battles going on here. Chardon's got to get their offense in gear now, start moving that ball in, and they got to get it into the end zone, grab themselves a score here.
And we'll see. Maybe we'll get a look at it on the replay.
Still plenty of time in this game left, 5:59, but pretty much Chardon is down to one opportunity to get a drive in gear because, like I mentioned, they have it here. We see the play coming, a touchdown run again by Morgan. Great play action. You see everybody grabbing hold of Powell. Even faked out our capable Cablevision cameraman that time as he adjusted well, picked up Morgan as he trotted in the end zone. Excellent ball handling ability and execution by that Minerva squad.
Minerva the kickoff. There's Brett Mays, number 2. Short kick at the 25. A fumble. And who's going to get it? It's going to be coming up. Estepana, number 40. That could have been a big blow. That could have ended it for Chardon.
Pretty much, especially the way this Minerva squad, all of a sudden they turn on their offense, move the ball extremely well down that field to get that last score. We're down to 5:48 on that clock, and that's Chardon just got to get it moving. Like I said, this could be, unless they can break a big one, their last shot at a sustained drive.
And again, Chardon gets called here. Illegal procedure.
Another procedural call. That's about the 4th on Chardon tonight. That sort of stuff just kills you. Just when you get the ball back, you might be a little pumped saying, come on guys, let's get it going. Little penalties like that kind of just take the wind right out of you and just move you back a little bit. They cost. Besides the 5 yards on the field, they also cost emotionally, and that's something Chardon can't afford to have at this moment.
1st and 15. Joyner back to pass. Joyner with a lot of trouble goes to the outside. And I don't know if that was a pass that was caught or not, or did it go into the ground.
Well, I think they're considering a reception.
I think they do.
It's only a 2-yard gain, but
Harry Nick was able to pick it up.
Or at least get you the 2 yards, something you need. Minerva fans don't agree it was caught, but quite honestly, their vantage point was the same as us. We were shielded by the defender. I honestly couldn't tell if he caught it or not, and from that replay we had earlier on that reception, I'm not going to question the referees anymore tonight.
2nd and 13. Fake handoff in the backfield. Over the middle, he's got his man. And Chardon's got a first down. Chris Stuffleman.
Stuffleman did a good job that time filling in for Perry Miklas in that fullback spot for Chardon. Just ran his little route through the middle of the line, hooked it a bit to the outside, as we'll see here. Stuffleman is going out on his pattern right now, open, wide open in an area. Joyner just laid the ball gently in there, and we got a first down for Chardon, something they needed.
Bankhauser able to come up for the tackle. Back to pass, Joyner again. Joyner gets his man. I believe it was Wilson.
Yeah, it was Wilson crossing over from the right end position, just doing a little hook over the middle area there. Good reception. Again, he was wide open there. And one thing that I really liked in that play by Wilson is as soon as he got the ball, he covered both hands over it. He's not going to make that costly mistake and turn it over. Good heads-up ball carrying ability by Wilson on that one.
Both teams are coached very well. I've noticed that all night long. They're making their share of mistakes, but you can tell they've been taught very well. Joyner showing he wants to go to the air. Good illusion of the tackler and completes his pass.
Satka, I believe, on that one. A little bit short of the first down, about a yard or so short, but nonetheless a completion. And Chardon, all of a sudden they're finding those open seams because that one had a little better defense on it. But for the most part, the receivers have been wide open and getting good yardage, moving that ball down the field rather quickly this time. I was talking about a sustained drive. They're moving it down there quickly.
Only had 19 yards passing in the first half, and this whole drive has been through the air virtually. Joyner this time hands off. And I believe Miklas got the first down though.
Yes, he did, Greg.
Perry Miklas able to pick it up close to the 20-yard line.
Again, that was great pursuit by that Minerva front, though. They tried to sweep to the short side of the field. Minerva just screened it out well. Miklas just waited for an opening. It never developed for him, so he lowered his head and just grabbed what he could out of it, which is good heads-up ball carrying. If you sit back and dance for a while, you're going to end up with a loss for it. There's nothing there. Take the best you can. Make sure you get that first down. That's what Miklas did on that play.
Imler was able to make the tackle. Misdirection, and out of the backfield comes Desapeta. And Desapeta picks up a first down at the 10-yard line. Chardon not out of it yet. Down by 7. Their backs up against the wall. 2 minutes and 32 seconds left in regulation. And Minerva calls a timeout to try and regroup here.
I think so. I'm sure that their coach said, whoa, let's stop it a little bit. We got this lead and stuff. Let's not start letting them chew up this yardage on us here. Let's make a couple of quick adjustments. I'll talk to my secondary folks, tell the cover a little tighter. Key the areas in the middle on those misdirections. Again, that last play was set up by great blocking from tackle Colin Rice and guard Dave Scanlon as they open up a gaping hole for Desapeta just to shoot through and get great yardage out of it.
Desapeta, a fine slashing running back. A small man, but gets the job done.
That's all that counts. The size of, what's the old saying about it's not the size of the dog, it's the size of the, or I'm blowing those sayings tonight, aren't I? Help me, would you, Greg?
14-7. Joyner hands off to Desapeta. Desapeta trying to get around the end. Leaps up and is hit hard. In midair, you have nowhere to go. The whole defense came over there to hit him. As the Fankhauser brothers brought him down. Bill and Jeff.
Well, I'll tell you, that's two people you don't want to meet on that field if you're a Chardon player. And that's always a dangerous situation. Whenever you leave your feet, you just don't have your feet planted where you get that extra power. You're at the mercy once you go to the air like that. That's exactly what it was. And the two Fankhauser brothers just took it out of Desapeta.
Second down, they into the air, and a touchdown! There it is, and I believe number 88, Bob Satka.
Yeah, you're right. That was just a timely pattern. He just hooked it around towards the marker at the beginning of the end zone there. Just crouched low. It was a good, safe, low pass. Satka was the only one that could come up with it. Made the good connection. Now we have that all-important extra point here needed for the tie.
Ed Ash for the extra point to tie. The kick is up, and it is good. We're all tied at 14. 1:51 to go in regulation. The Chardon fans on their feet. Minerva's stunned.
There's something amazing. Quite honestly, in the first half, I thought Howard Joyner, the quarterback for Chardon, who's had some great games for Chardon this year, he was off. He just wasn't throwing real well, as we're going to see the replay on that touchdown pass to Scott Satka. You see a little bootleg pattern. He just finds it. Like I mentioned, it was just a low pass. The only one that was going to grab that was Satka, and that's the one that grabbed it, luckily for Chardon. Going back to my Joyner statement, he was just a little bit off. Wasn't sharp in his passing, overthrowing, underthrowing, and all that. Down here, when we start getting close to game time, where the best has to come out of him, Joyner brought forth the bestest. Passes were right on target, very timely, well-run routes for the Chardon receivers, and Chardon just methodically moved the ball downfield, tying up this ball game.
Wilson will kick off. Back deep, Leon Powell. I believe they don't want to go to him. Last time he returned it over 70 yards. They'll keep it on the ground. Here comes Minerva. Up to about the 34-yard line comes Mike Garrett, number 21.
Yeah, it was a good choice by Chardon to go to the little squib kick that time. That's a safe mistake. You give up a little bit in the way of field position, possibly, but you also guarantee that the chances of him returning a long one on you is very slim, and that's what happens. Minerva gets the ball started on a 35 with 1:32 left in the clock.
Bankhauser and Powell in the backfield. This time again, Morgan. He's going to go long. He's got Brady. Brady Shin not able to come up with a good defensive play by Mike Scolaris, number 20.
Yeah, they had good double coverage on him that time. He had Scolaris fronting him that time, and Palima was the deep man behind in case something went wrong. He made the reception. He still had the safety man back there. Good blanket coverage by him, and again, you had good penetration by that Chardon group, forcing Morgan to throw it when I think he really didn't want to put the ball in the air at that time.
A timeout on the field by Chardon with 1:24 to go in regulation. The winner tonight will take on either the winner of Akron-Brookdale and Canton South, who is playing tonight also.
Yeah, and that's going to be well, I'll tell you, this is just a tough division, as all of them are, quite honestly. Even down to Division 5 teams, you got excellent football teams that are playing in this area right now. And you're just going to see some good action all through this playoff thing. One thing that we want to note that if Chardon does happen to pull out this game, carries on in the playoffs, we would like to request that all sponsors in the Cablevision area please call the office and offer your sponsorship, because we really would like to cover these playoff games and follow Chardon through as far as they will go, but we do need the sponsorship. So anybody out there in the Chardon area that wants to continue seeing Chardon in the playoffs, should they go on, please call the Cablevision office.
There goes Leon Powell. Powell tries to get around the outside. Powell runs out of bounds about the 45-yard line. Now, if there's a tie situation, there'll be about a 2 or 3 minute intermission. We'll get into that if that comes about here at the end of regulation. It's 14-14. Minerva had the lead 7-0 after the first half. It came out and it all started when Bill Bailey intercepted Brad Morgan and went 30 yards for a score to tie it 7-7, and it's been high emotions ever since. Back to pass goes Morgan. Morgan looks for Fankhauser. Fankhauser stays in bounds. He's in the area of the 42-yard line of Chardon. Clock is stopped right now at 1:07. They'll get it rolling once the chains are moved.
And to be quite honest with you, I'm a little surprised that Fankhauser did stay in bounds, because he was near the sideline. He could have easily cut it out of bounds, stopped that clock, and there were 3-4 Chardon defenders in the area there. I quite honestly didn't think there was any place for him to go. He should have stopped that clock for Minerva.
Trying to go long and nobody home. This might be defensive interference. Going down the field was Todd Wicks, number 22. And maybe we'll see that one over again. I'm not sure.
That time the
defensive interference.
Chardon defender Jeff Palima and the receiver for Minerva got their feet tangled together and just fell down. It wasn't a deliberate pass interference, but nonetheless it served the same purpose. It was just an inadvertent one where you get your feet tangled up with the guy you're trying to defend. Palima got the flag thrown at him.
Fred Bays is going to be stretching himself along the sidelines right now. Number 2, he's the kicker. If it comes down to a situation right now, they're at the 28-yard line. It would be a 45-yard field goal if they had the kick from here.
Yeah, I think Minerva needs a little more yardage to take an attempt. That's an awful long field goal, even for a pro kicker.
Morgan looking for Brady Shin in the end zone. Almost intercepted. Good job there by Mike Scolaris again.
Yeah, Morgan could have lofted that ball a little bit more. Shin did have about a half a step on Scolaris that time, had him beaten, but he underthrew a little bit where Scolaris could defend it rather well on that particular play. He could have got more arm on it, lofted a little bit higher. It was a potential reception to leading receiver for Minerva, Shin, who hasn't been much of a factor tonight. They've been covering him extremely well.
And movement on the offensive line. John Groves, number 84, went too early, and it'll be a 5-yard procedural call.
Yeah, he was just a little tentative on that time, jumping a little bit. I'm wondering if it was again, we mentioned how Shin is their leading receiver, and that's the first time we've really seen him tonight. Groves also has a goodly number of catches tonight, as we see a timeout being signaled for Chardon. Grove also has quite a few catches this season. I'm wondering if he was being called for a little pass route over the middle, because Minerva still has a timeout. All they need is a 10, 15-yard reception to their big tight end like that. They'd be well in field goal range.
I believe Chardon, who did take that timeout, it might have been their last. 48 seconds left in regulation, 14-14 tie. There you see some coaches for Minerva.
Yeah, it does sound, everything you just read off, Greg, the 48 seconds, 14-14. It just sounds like a classic playoff game, and I think that's what we're seeing down here on that field tonight. Just two great, high-caliber playoff teams going head-to-head and just putting their best forth, playing outstanding football tonight. Both of them are just playing like a good playoff contending team should. Every right. It's unfortunate. This is one of those games. Somebody has to come out a loser. Neither team deserves it.
Morgan at quarterback. You see the time in your upper corner. Morgan over the middle. He's got his man Powell. Powell still on his feet. Diving across the 20-yard line to the 18. Oh my, what a catch by Leon Powell. Able to keep his feet and go down to the 18. It'd be a 35-yard kick if they went from here. 27 seconds on the clock.
They're going to try one more before they use their last timeout.
Hand off to Fankhauser. Fankhauser, and a timeout by Morgan is being called. Now, did they get close to a first down is what... They did get a first down. Now, that is kind of important because they have 17 seconds and they have a shot of just throwing it into the end zone one or two times.
I'll tell you, I'd seriously have... Do you recall how many timeouts they have left, Greg? Do you know offhand?
I believe that was Minerva's last timeout.
I don't think I'd try the throwing in the end zone because so far Chardon has had good penetration in there. You can't afford the sack. You don't want to take the opportunity of losing more yardage. I think they'd just try to gain 5-6 additional yards, a little cushion factor for that field goal attempt. Possibly, well, I'm assuming, run it to the left side a little bit, center the ball on the goalpost.
Okay, I just saw Lynn Mullen. There's your, there was a shot of him. They do have one timeout. He was asking the officials, and I believe that's what he said. They have one timeout left. So you're correct, John. I think they're going to run up the middle.
Towards the left, I would guess. To try to center it on the goalpost, give a better angle.
Powell. And Powell down to about the 11-yard line. And they call the timeout. 13 seconds left.
Quite frankly, I'm a little surprised they called the timeout that early. You know, you should have looked up at the clock a little bit, run some more seconds off there. You know, just get it down, because obviously they are going to try for the field goal right here. This is their last shot at it and all, so why give the ball back to Chardon with any time left at all should the field goal be successful? You still have to kick it off.
Well, the only thing here, it's second down. It is 13 seconds left, and if there's something that happens on the snap where he doesn't get it down in time, they can just cover it, and they have one more shot at it because it's only second down.
Without timeouts, I don't think they'll be able to set up, though, Greg, to get it in a 13-second time frame.
The biggest kick of the year for Fred Bays, the 5'11", 145-pound senior. Chardon's coming at him. The snap is down, the kick is up, but it would have been no good. But flags on the play, illegal procedure.
So that moves him back a little bit, which may, because his angle isn't that good up close, that may work to Minerva's advantage. It gives him a better angle for being further away from the goalpost that way. The angle isn't quite as critical as it is down closer. This may work out to Minerva's advantage.
Okay, they're at the 17-yard line. Setting up at the 25, it'll be a 35-yard field goal, or just under that. The holder, Jeff Beebnell. Fred Bays going to try it again. Snap is down, the kick is up, and it will be no good.
We're going to overtime.
7 seconds left, and I think you're right. Chardon, I don't believe, will try and throw a desperation Hail Mary pass, because if it's intercepted, there's a good chance for a run back in that situation down at their own end.
Very much. We're just going to hit an overtime game. God, this is a great playoff game. Everything is going just so well. Going into overtime, two powers butting heads, neither one giving up enough ground. That's where it belongs, in overtime, when you get a situation like this.
Chardon on offense. They have 3 running backs in there, so you know they're just going to drop it down. We'll go into overtime on the Cablevision Game of the Week, Cablevision Sports Network. All right, John, overtime. Let's read you what happens.
Okay.
14-14, the end of regulation. Everybody on their feet. Okay, there'll be a coin toss. After a couple minutes on the sidelines, the captains will go out for a coin toss in the middle of the field. Both teams are told how many timeouts they have right here. How many ever is left for each team. I don't believe either one has any. Okay, then each team is allotted 1 timeout apiece for the extra period.
The important thing on the coin toss right here is the team that wins will go to defense, because they want to see what the other team does before they get their ball back, as Greg is going to explain how the playoff system works.
Right. To start the overtime, the offensive team will put the ball in play, 1st and 10, from the other team's 20-yard line. Okay. That team should score. If they score, they can have a tie. They have a chance to go for an extra point. If they make it, however that happens, how many points they get, or if they don't get any ball, if they don't get any score at all after their 4 downs, the ball goes to the other end of the field, and the other team then gets a shot from their 20-yard line. If both teams continue to score, they'll keep doing it that way. They'll be after 2 times that they would have possession, there would be another break of about 3 minutes, and then they do it all over again. So it doesn't matter if the first team that gets the ball scores first, they do not win. The other team gets another shot at it. Virtually is what happens in Ohio high school play.
Right, it's not a sudden death overtime situation. And the reason that a team will choose to take defense first is if the one team gets down, kicks a field goal for 3, or scores a touchdown, the other team gets back, they know what they have to shoot for. The other team gets nothing, they can win it with a field goal, they might take it a little earlier, they might go back to the little rule that Greg mentioned earlier about how if you have the bad snap, you can do it again. So they may, if you have a premier field goal kicker, try it in the 20 area, knowing that they're going to get the ball back, they can cover it if you got a bad snap, go for it again. There's all kinds of strategy plays, but everybody wants to take the defensive position first.
Okay, they have about 2 minutes resting time, and while that's happening, let me give you the scoring rundown of what's happened so far tonight. First quarter, first play from scrimmage, Brad Morgan to Jeff Fankhauser out in the left flat. He went 88 yards for a touchdown. It was 7-0 in Minerva. That was all the scoring in the first half. Now in the second half, it's been high emotions. At 4 minutes and 42 seconds left in the third quarter, Bill Bailey intercepted Brad Morgan's attempted passes. Dave Scanlon came in and pressured him. Intercepted at the 30-yard line, went in and scored, made it 7-7. That was a turning point for Chardon to come back in this ball game. Fourth quarter, Brad Morgan with 6 minutes left, bootleg to the left side, went about 25 yards and made it 14-7 Minerva. We thought Chardon had been out of it then. But with 1:51 left, they passed down the field, and Howie Joyner to Bob Satka for 6 yards and a touchdown to make it 14-14. A very interesting ball game.
Very much. And you left off another important part. Minerva started moving again, and they had that, with 13 seconds left, they had a shot at winning that game, missed the field. Well, actually, they boiled down to having 2 shots to finish it. And the penalty knocked the first one out. The second one was just a little bit wide. That's why we're down here in the overtime. Chardon started on defense. Minerva started on offense.
Greg Fronick along with John Walsh here on the Cablevision Sports Network. Division II Region 5 semifinal playoff game here from Mollenkopf Stadium in Warren, Ohio.
Let me ask you, Greg, just put you on the spot right here. Who would you say has the advantage in this overtime situation? Which team favors a game, the offensive set that moves well within the 20? Who do you think the advantage lies with, Minerva or Chardon?
Both teams run well. It depends if Minerva can get the ball to their running back, Powell. They have not been able to do it much tonight, so I would give the edge to Chardon. The only means there, I think the big edge for Chardon is in the kicking game. I think Ed Ash has the stronger leg. And if it comes down where Minerva can be held here by Chardon, they could go at the other end of the field, and they could go for a field goal try if they can't get a first down or a touchdown. But I really can't tell you. This is the first time I've seen either team play, and we'll see what happens. Brad Morgan brings his team up at the line of scrimmage, and Fankhauser keeps running down to the 11-yard line. Close to a first down.
Important thing, and I wonder if this is going to set the tone for Minerva. They went straight up the middle, straight at that goal post for a field goal attempt, if you will. We'll have to see if they take it wide, move the ball away again, or if they do decide that's what we're going to do. We're going to just keep moving dead ahead. We can push it in the end zone, great. If not, we got a great angle for a field goal attempt.
And off to Powell. Powell couldn't go anywhere, and I'm surprised. The leading blocker was 255-pound Bill Fankhauser.
Well, did they put him in at the fullback slot?
They sure did. He's still in there, number 34.
That's like having a refrigerator Perry. Ditka used to try him running out of that fullback position, lead blocking for you. That's a heck of a load coming at you, running straight at you, clearing out the whole area. But Chardon again did a great job in that, came across, grabbed Paul, and actually held him to almost nothing on the gain.
I think they might even lost a half a yard. It'll be third down and about 2 yards. There's no time on the clock, so that doesn't matter right now. What does matter is getting a first down for Minerva on their standpoint, because Fred Bates has not been able to do the job. As you see, a Minerva player or a Chardon player being attended to on the field.
I think that's Chuck Cox who's down there in the field, number 36. Nice thing is, though, they aren't looking at his injured knee. They're talking to him. I think he just might have met Powell a little bit, got the wind knocked out of him some. I'm sure he'll be right back in on the next play, having to go out for the injury play on this forthcoming one.
You're right, it is Chuck Cox, though, and they're taking a look at his upper body around the collarbone area. Minerva with a shot here as Cox is up.
Yeah, I think you're right. He is moving the arm around. I think he might have jammed that shoulder a little bit or so. We have to keep an eye out on the very next play if he does come back in or if he is going to be out for a little bit.
Ed Ash comes in for him, number 77. The Ash and Perry Miklas, number 28, the linebackers. Everybody on their feet here at Mollenkopf Stadium. Hand off and nowhere for Perry Miklas, a fumble, and
he did fumble.
He did fumble. It was Chardon's ball. Came up with it.
That's a big play. Now Chardon just gets the ball back for their attempt at it. Minerva got nothing out of it. They're whistling, waving people back. Maybe it wasn't ruled a fumble. They are calling them back.
Well, that or else they're going to just put them on defense at that end of the field rather than walk all the way down there.
Right.
I think that the reason they do that is for fairness of wind condition.
That's right. And then the next series they will run from the opposite end of fields, both teams.
So Chardon gets a chance here to win it in overtime. First down and 10. Perry Miklas in the backfield. And a timeout called by Minerva.
Wonder why. They must have seen something that was a little different. Chardon came out where I'm looking here and seeing who the players are in the field. I don't notice anybody different, but obviously Minerva was a little bit worried about something or another.
Well, they had Scolaris on one side and Desipeda on the other. And they haven't, they've seen the two wingbacks tonight, but I don't think Desipeda and and Scolaris have been spread.
Oh, they had him out a little wide when they came.
A little bit wider. And
that
something
probably
new.
was it. And they just wanted to make sure that what they were seeing, they, in their own minds, knew how to defend properly.
Bob Doyle, the head coach for Chardon, trying to get his team to the next round of the playoffs. And the handoff to Scolaris. Scolaris picks up about 4.
Yeah, it's moving it backward off. Like you said, moving toward that 10-yard line, which is the next first down marker that they have to hit out here. This is tense. Both these teams know that down here, once they get their one play, all of a sudden their season is over and all that. Sudden death, or not sudden death, but overtime situations do put a lot of pressure on teams.
Joyner up the middle. Perry Nicholas keeps on his feet, and Nicholas for a first down. Chardon hands on their feet.
Very much so, because like you mentioned before, Greg, they know in Ed Ash they have a very capable kicker. I'll be very frankly surprised if Chardon goes to the outside at all. I think they would just keep moving dead center right where they are right now for a good shot at that field goal. Be content to do that in overtime. And they're sitting well right now. Just hold that ball.
And not much room there this time for Nicholas. Second down and goal from the 6.
Yeah, they do have the 2 more plays, though, to try to center that ball back in. This play, they can pretty much do what they want. The next one, I'm sure, will be a centering play that sticks it back right in the middle of the field, so it's a clear shot, no angle whatsoever for a field goal attempt.
And Ash stretching on the opposite sideline. Joyner will hand off. Nicholas is close. He's in, and this one is over. Chardon has beaten Minerva at Holland Cop Stadium.
What a great victory for Chardon, and what a very, very costly loss for this fine Minerva squad. That's sad to see. You see them down in the field, their heads are hung low and all. They really feel bad. They have nothing to be feel bad about. They got a tremendous football season. They came here in their first playoff attempt and just did an outstanding ball game. Excellent, excellent play by them. They played tough, just came head to head. Just happened to meet a team today that just played a little bit better. I'm sure it's one of those situations on any given day, though, if they played 10 times, be a 5-5 record for each squad because they match up well. Tonight was just Chardon's night. Minerva, hats off to you. You've had a tremendous season. Keep your heads proud. Come back next year because you look great tonight.
We'll take a look at it one more time up the middle. As a handoff from Joyner to Perry Nicholas, number 28. There you see a dejected Leon Powell.
There they are congratulating him because they know he's a tremendous ball player and he'll be back next year. Here you see the handoff to Nicholas, cuts it around, finds a little opening, touchdown and ball game for Chardon. Again, let me mention, Chardon did win tonight. We are looking for sponsors next week to cover them in further playoff second round action. All your sponsors in the Chardon area, please call your Cablevision office. They'll fill you in on details. If you want to cover this team, exciting football tonight, I'm sure next week, and as far as they can continue through this playoff route. Greg, I'd like to tell you it was a pleasure working with you tonight. I enjoyed it thoroughly, and I enjoyed the ball game. Just a great job done by everybody tonight.
A very good one here at Holland Cop Stadium at Warren Field. The final score, Chardon Hilltoppers 20, Minerva Lions 14. I'm Greg Fronick for John Walsh. Have a good night, everybody.